Hey guys, welcome to my in-depth League of Legends Champion Spotlight. First one featuring Aatrox, the Darkened Blade. Alright, so we're going to take this step by step. We're going to start off with the runes and masteries. We're going to go into the gameplay, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what his abilities do, what people running currently on him right now, and so this is for people that are just now picking up Aatrox and are not really sure just what they're doing, and they want to try and find a quick little video on exactly what he does. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so as of the preseason, in the mastery department, people have started taking 18-0-12 masteries. So that's going to be 5 points in Fury, which will give you plus 4% attack speed. They're going to do double-edged sword, which makes it to where as Aatrox you deal 3% additional damage and you take 1.5% additional damage, and this synergizes really well with his passive, which we will talk about later on. We take 5 points in Vampirism, which is just the 2% lifesteal and spell vamp. We're going to take Oppressor because it increases damage to targets with impaired movements, and this really synergizes well, not with his knock-up, but specifically with his E, which is a slow, so we'll talk about that later. Battering Blows, we're going to take 5 points in that, which will give you the 7% armor penetration, and then we're going to take Fervor of Battle, so every time you hit a champion or hit him with an ability, your attack deals 1 to 8 bonus physical damage, and it builds a stack, and it can go up to 10 stacks, and the damage is based on your level, so this just gives you extra sticking power also, so that's a really useful mastery. Alright, so we don't put any points in the cunning tree, then we go over to the resolve, where we're going to put 12 points in, and we're going to put 5 into the unyielding, which will give us the 5 bonus armor and magic resist. We are going to take 1 in tough skin to take 2 less damage from champions and neutral monsters' basic attacks. Shield, the runic armor, it shields, healing, and regeneration and lifesteal on you are 8% stronger. That's really good with his W, and I believe also his passive. We'll talk about that later. And then we're going to take 1 point in insight, which reduces the cooldown of our summer spells by 15%. Alright, so that's that for masteries. Now, as you can see, these are my Aatrox top masteries. There would be a completely different set for jungle, and we'll talk about that right now. I'll go ahead and preface this video by saying that we're going to focus mainly on top, but I'll go ahead and show you the jungle tree. It's a little bit different, but not entirely. So you're going to, on the ferocity tree, you're going to take exactly the same thing. But then we're going to go over to Cunning, and you're going to take Savagery, which makes you deal 5 bonus damage to minions and monsters with single target attacks and spells. You're going to take Runic Affinity for the 15% longer buff timers, Merciless for the 5% increased damage to champions with 40% health or lower, and Dangerous Game, which is a really great mastery that you restore 5% of your missing health and mana upon champion killer assists. That's going to be it for the mastery section, so now we're going to switch over to the rune pages, and we're going to just look at the Aatrox. Now this is going to be the same for whether you're Aatrox jungle or if you're top, so we're going to take attack reds, we're going to take armor yellows, and we're going to take magic resist blues, and attack speed quints. Now I think one other thing you could do is you could take attack speed reds and attack damage quints. Either way is fine. Honestly, that's pretty much it for Aatrox as far as runes and masteries go. So now we're going to dive right into some gameplay, and I'm going to talk about each of his abilities and exactly what they do. So let's dive right into it. Alright, so the first ability we're going to start talking about is Aatrox passive. Aatrox passive is Bloodwell. The way this works is upon auto-attacking or taking damage from either minions or monsters or champions, Aatrox stores a portion of the damage dealt as blood, He can hold 105 blood at level 1, and his passive scales up to 870 blood at level 18. If Aatrox stops attacking, the blood well will start depleting by 2% per second after 5 seconds of not attacking or using abilities or anything like that. Aatrox gains a 0.3% attack speed per 1% of blood in his blood well. This scales with level, and at level 18 he gets about 0.55% attack speed per 1% of blood. He can have a max of 30% at level 1 to a max of 55% bonus attack speed at level 18. So once Aatrox takes fatal damage, he enters a stasis for about 3 seconds. During this time, he drains his blood well, which will heal him for up to 35% of blood well, and 35% of his blood well's maximum capacity. This is also based on his level, and for every point of blood that you had in your blood well at the time of going into stasis or dying. So if you had 100 health in your blood well and you go into stasis, you gain about 35 HP plus 100 HP for what was already in your blood well. This is considering you die at level 1 with 100 blood in your blood well. So you would gain about 135 HP and you would come back to life. So a couple extra notes. Zillion's Chrono Shift, his ultimate, and Guardian Angel also kind of interact with this passive. Both will pop before your passive does. So you can have Chrono Shift on you and Guardian Angels, and both would pop before your blood well will. So that can lead to some pretty good combos. Alright. So his next ability is his Q, which is Dark Flight. It costs 10% of his current HP. Aatrox dashes to the target area. After a brief delay, he jumps up into the air and glides down towards the area you click to. Once he lands, he deals damage to enemies around him and knocks up for 1 second any enemies in the epicenter of his landing zone. As you can see on the screen, he's got like 3 rings. The first ring, the biggest one, is the radius at the maximum he can jump. The second larger ring is the AoE damage that it will deal to surrounding enemies, and the middle ring is the epicenter. If anybody's in that epicenter, it will knock them up for 1 second. This ability deals physical damage, 70 at your first rank, and it goes up to 250 at rank 5, and this scales with 60% of your attack damage. So at rank 5 with 100 AD, you deal 250 base damage, plus 60 extra damage for the 60% scaling, for a grand total of 310 damage before resistances. So that can be a pretty powerful attack. It applies spell effects from items and is considered an area of effectability. Dark Flight can be used to escape and jump over much of the walls and terrains on Summoner's Rift, so it's a really, really good escape. In fact, your only escape as far as actually getting out of zones are. You can be put into stasis in the middle of Dark Flight, such as through Ignite, which will immediately cancel your ability and push you to the ground, so just keep that in mind. Your next ability is W, which is your Bloodthirst or Blood Price, depending on if it's toggled on or off. So first, putting your first point into W, you gain its passive, which causes an on-hit effect to occur every 3 auto attacks. The on-hit effect depends on whether you have the abilities toggled on or off. Just like I said, if toggled off or it's not flashing, it is Bloodthirst, which Aatrox heals himself for every 3rd auto. At rank 1, it heals him for 20 HP, and at rank 5, it heals him up to 40 HP. It scales with 25% of your attack damage. If you're 50 HP or low, if you are 50% HP or lower, this heal is tripled. If toggled on, it is Blood Price. Aatrox deals bonus physical damage. At rank 1, it deals 60 bonus damage, and at rank 5, it deals 200 bonus damage. So this ability scales with 100% of your bonus attack damage. So at rank 5, 200 AD, you would deal 200 damage for proccing your ability and 200 for the AD bonus. Toggling does not trigger on hit effects or anything like Lich Banes or anything like that. And it doesn't apply lifesteal. It's its own kind of thing. So the bonus damage does not give you more lifesteal than just the hit would. Blood Price misses if you're blinded, and if it's blocked or parried by, like, say, Fiora or something, The bonus damage applies, the actual attack damage is blocked, but the bonus damage does go through. Spell shields don't block blood price, and the attack counter that comes up will be shared between both the toggled and untoggled versions. Alright, so we're going to move on to E, which is your Blades of Torment. This costs about 5% of your current health. Aatrox unleashes 2 converging kind of energy waves in the target direction that you decided on. It deals magic damage and slows any champion's hit by 40%. At rank 1 it deals 75 damage, and at rank 5 it deals 215. It has a 60% AP and a 60% AD ratio. It applies spell effects as an area of effect ability, so if for whatever reason, like if you were running Rylai's or whatever, its slow would be an area of effect slow instead of the single target slow. Some enemies are able to dodge this abilities if they have like a small enough hitboxes. As you'll probably see towards the end of the video, some of the enemies can dodge it, especially minions. If you're standing like right on top of them and you try to do this, they'll dodge it. So just keep that in mind. His ultimate is Massacre. He draws the blood of his foes, dealing magic damage to all nearby champions, and it fills his blood well by 20% of its maximum capacity for each enemy hit. So if you hit all 5, you get a 100% stacked blood well right off the bat. Additionally, he gains bonus attack speed and attack range for 12 whole seconds, and his attack speed increase is by 40% at rank 1 and up to 60% at max rank. Damage done at rank 1 is 200 magic damage for the AoE effect, and at rank 3 it deals 400. This scales with 100% of your AP. So this is a really powerful move. So for starting items, right now, you're gonna bring Dorn's Blade, a health potion, and the yellow trinket. That is the most efficient thing people are running right now on him. You're also, if you're gonna play top lane, which we're going to focus just on the top lane for this particular video. I tried him jungle. I didn't really like it very much. So you'll have 2 options. If you're going top lane, you could take Flash Ignite as your summoner spells, which is what I take right here. I'm not a very good Aatrox player, but I don't really like taking teleport, because if I'm only using it just to get back to my lane, if I die just to get back to my lane faster, then I feel like it's pretty much useless. So I'm gonna take Flash Ignite. Flash Teleport does work, so if you know how to use teleport really well, so I would definitely recommend that. Flash Ignite is really, really good for the early kill potential where you can easily duel. So, right now we've got Dorn's Blade and the health potion, showcasing right now on the screen what your E looks like when you're using it, and it's like, it starts off as a bigger triangle and it kind of peaks together, just like that. The next ability we're going to get is our W. This will give us a lot of sustain in lane. You're going to use your E, so if you're kind of like getting pushed and forced away from lane, you use your E to farm. If you got your W up, you'll see right there, I have it right next to my Bloodwell passive. There was a sword. That indicated that my W was ready to be procced or activated on my next hit. There it is again. So you'll notice that it healed you. Every third auto attack, it will heal you, and these stack, so you can toggle between the 2 different abilities to deal damage. Once you hit rank 3, you should have a point in each one of your abilities. Dark Flight, Blood Fury, and what was that? Anyway, his Q is W and his E. So that's how his Q works. You just click on the location you want to go. If it's at max, if you are clicking beyond the max range of his ability, it will just go to the max range. So that's how these abilities all work. Alright, so once you get your level 4, you're going to want to max your E first, and this is for maximum poke potential and the slow effect. so that you can really stick to the enemies once you're trying to actually duel them and fight them and get into team fights and things like that. So you're going to max your E first, and then you're going to max your W for the sustain, which is really useful. You really don't want to max your Q first because you really only use it for the knockup, and yeah, it does a little bit of damage, but that slow is so much better. Right here, I'm going to show you the stasis. As you can see, I have 207 in the blood wheel right now, and as you can see, I'm dead, I'm in stasis, I'm charging and I'm back up to 303 HP again. That's how his passive really works. Now, one thing you'll notice is if you have the blade or his W toggled on, it will deal damage and fill your blood well. However, if you have it toggled off, it does not fill your blood well on your third auto attack. So just keep that in mind. What you would do is, so let's say you're in lane and you're against a Riven, and you guys are just farming. If you're ready to start poking her down, first you're going to be throwing your E at her, trying to hit her and whittle her down as much as you can. Then what you want to do is you want to build up 2 stacks of your W, and just before you go in, don't use your third auto attack. Just before you go in, you're going to toggle your W on, and you're going to dive right in on top of them. This way you get the max damage. You're going to smack them with your Q, which will knock them up into the air. Then you're going to hit them with an auto attack, which will proc your W and deal that bonus physical damage. Then you're going to hit them with another E, which will slow them. By then they should be low enough to either have no choice but to fight or have to use their flashes and all their escapes and stuff like that to get away from you, which should make it either easy to really bully them out of lane, or if they choose to fight you, if you bring Ignite, you got that with you. And Aatrox is just a really, really strong duelist when it comes to his W. So, yeah. That's pretty much how his laning phase works. If you're getting bullied out, use your E to farm, really safe. It's got a really, really long range. If you are able to farm with your W toggled off, so that just in case you do get poked down a little bit, you can regain all that health back. It's really, really good ability to have. Maxed out second. So I guess the next thing we'll talk about real quickly is build order. Alright, so now I'm going to back and I'm going to show you in the item screen what items you want to rush on Aatrox. So, to start off, if you're ahead and you're killing the opponent relatively easily, you're going to want to go with Hydra. Any other time, you're going to want to get the Blade of the Rune King. You're also going to want some Ninja Tabbies, since it's going to be an 80 top lane, more than likely you're going to have to want that extra buffness. Spirit's Visage. It scales really well with your W and with your passive, so it's a really, really good item to rush, along with Randuin's Omen. If you're like behind, really far behind, and you just need that extra tankiness to survive lane and actually farm up and just stay alive, Randuin's Omen is the best choice for you. It also helps with causing a lot of havoc later on in the game when you're actually initiating teamfights orders, participating in them. Like I said, if you're not ahead, like from the very beginning, don't rush Ravenous Hydra, but at the end of the game, you can grab that as like a final item. If you don't want that and you need a little bit extra tankiness to your kit, grab a Guardian's Angel. Like I told you earlier, it synergizes really, really well with your Bloodwell passive. And it's just a really great item. It adds magic resist, armor, and makes it to where they have to kill you 3 times. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I hope this helps you out. The rest of this video is just going to be clips of showing you guys exactly what you're going to be trying to do when you're in lane. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'm going to be coming out with these hopefully once a week, and I'm going to be going in alphabetical order. If there's a champion you want me to do specifically, if this helped you out at all, just let me know in the comments and I'll be glad to make a video for them. Thanks guys, we'll see you next time.